Can you go back to our CFF channel and see if it is streaming or not? YouTube channel.
It's not even quite.
It just started.
No, they're just approving the
Yeah,
assessors,
Sean is
right?
He's an assessor.
Right.
Yeah.
He's in that first batch.
Yeah, he's
There's
in
only been that one.
It's streaming, right?
It's been like 100, and
Can you
now
keep it on?
he's in the first batch.
yep,
Yeah.
they haven't got past that yet.
Yeah, that's what I
Okay, you guys want to? Yeah.
We got to move. I think
Live, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty dirt.
We don't see. We got to move on.
Good.
Down
All right. Good evening. This party thing, I enjoy it, but I'm not the guy who can do corralling people. But I guess this is me today. But with the support of my two brothers here, we'll kick this off. And thank you for sticking around for the two. I hope they're awesome, both the content and the camaraderie. I can't stop to say GCC is a phenomenal place. Now, in the moment we came up to this rooftop and looked out, and there's like, wow, right? Yeah, it's Halloween, right? It's a that's the thing.
I'm not taking a picture of you, pal. I'm taking a picture of the movie.
All right. Yeah. Oh, I forgot my costume, but this is my costume. I'm more comfortable in jeans and sneakers, but we have to wear costumes sometimes. So this is us. So this event and the work that we do, which I believe is absolutely important with all of us participating in that, couldn't have been possible without the continuous support that we have been getting. And every year we come together, and when we do, we recognize great work and talent that we find, and that is what the Cyber Futurist Award is. We're really thankful for No Name for sponsoring this. And beyond that, they did a great thing. They didn't just send the money; they send where the money is. They send Carl Madsen, who's a CISO, right? We're part of the community to share, what we can do together, and of course the messages. We'll listen to Carl but Carl, why don't you come on? So kick us off, and then we'll go. Sean's there.
Thanks, Val. So thankful to be here tonight and representing No Name Security. Excuse me. I know most people probably haven't heard of No Name, and I'll get to why we're named No Name in a few minutes. But since we're all here, before we get to the part about the celebration, I wanted to share a real quick story with everybody. Sort of a confession, actually. Last Friday night, I think for the first time in my life, I believe I committed a cyber crime. So my wife and I actually committed a cyber crime, cyber theft. So my wife and I went out to movie night, date night, Friday night, the James Bond movie, and we went to a theater, and I won't name the theater, but it's through that experience of purchasing the ticket on the mobile application, scanning it to get into the door, purchasing popcorn at the concession, the gentleman handled the popcorn, go to the soda machine, purchase the soda on my phone, put my phone up to the machine, and of course that machine with a screen where you pick your Coke and it dispenses, of course, accordingly. And it was a magical user experience. It was so seamless, and like the IT team for this movie theater should be so proud. But so I grab my Coke in one hand and I have my phone in the other hand. And I begin to walk away from the machine. And as I walk by the next machine, for some reason, I put my phone up to the next machine and the light turns green. So I quick grab a cup and I get a second Coke for free. So I get that. So I have two Cokes and I've paid for one. And my wife doesn't drink Coke, so I really don't have anything to do with this Coke, and I just dump it back. But for some reason, out of curiosity, I just put my phone up to see if it would work. And I use that, I think about that story, and it's not that one Coke is necessarily a major crime, of course, but that analogy plays out in modern life in 100 different ways. So when I go back to the hotel room and use the Bluetooth key card to get into the door, what if we tried the next door down the row? What if the key card works at the next room? Does it work at the service entrance? Does it work at the manager's office? And so the thought that I keep coming back to is the metaphor that Mark Andreessen shared 10 years ago about software eating the world. It's very much becoming true. There's so much complexity in our modern life of technology, and particularly in software. As we go through our life and things get easier and easier to navigate, there become an infinite complexity of software errors that can occur. And that's really what we focus on as a company is that complexity of the software error in application security. And so especially as I was listening to some of the conversations today of the panelists, one thing that I was thinking about in particular about innovation and especially the talent gaps that we face. One thing that I've done and it's made a big difference for us is to hire software developers and tapping into the computer science backgrounds of our universities, the computer science students, and that software background being additive to security is enormous. So if I was to open up a SOC today, a SOC that I would have scoped at 10 FTEs or 10 analysts to operate my SOC, today I would do that with 5 SOC analysts and 1 software developer, focusing on automation, to focus on machine learning, to focus on process automation, to create efficiencies that help us close the talent gap. And so while the complexity of software makes security difficult, it simultaneously makes security easier in that we can capitalize on it just as much as we could suffer from it. And so that mastery of software is something that I think is really key, and I think we're recognizing a CEO of ISC2 today. And is she here, Claire? So as an innovator, just full credit because ISC2, Claire, I'm going to put you in the spot here, but having application security as that next level, cloud security, those fundamental disciplines, you're an organization who saw that well in advance of when it's needed. And so as an innovator, that's such a representative of being a thought leader in the industry and going where skating where the puck is going to be rather than where it was. And then on the innovation side, Val and I were talking about a trip 2 years ago, which I just found out that I indirectly owe my job to Val, which is
Well, you've also just admitted to a cybercrime
Yep.
being live streamed.
so
So there's a vending machine
So
company
it's-
doing an audit right
if
now.
there's an attorney in the room, I might need that.
There was no intent.
There's no attorney.
So you're already
Defended.
So I just learned that 2 years ago, a trip that I took to Israel as part of a delegation, Val had a hand in organizing. And it was during that trip to Israel that I met the founders of No Name Security. And long story short, about 9 months later, I had the privilege of being No Name's first customer. And so fast forward a few months, I'd kind of fallen in love with the business and the platform and decided to make that jump to take on the CISO role at No Name. But that sort of accidental partnership developed from a delegation that was attended by academic, by private sector. So many different partners joined in that trip to Israel. And that the model in Israel for innovation is so strong. There's such a strong community. And I'm so glad that we get to recognize and have models here in the US of innovators who are investing, who are focusing on research and development, focusing on building great companies. We need more. So Mr. Willocks, are they here present? Norman and Dave, that's such a fantastic. So we need more models like Norman Dave to focus on investment. And I think that my experience in Israel has been incredibly positive, and I just applaud that we can do that here in the United States to foster innovation and to amplify the entrepreneurship spirit that can help our security community thrive. So, and then the last note I just wanted to share, I know Sean's on Sean's joining us remotely, and not to embarrass Sean a little bit, but like Sean, I'm from North Dakota, so as you can tell, I have a little bit of an accent. I'm actually from the same town as Governor Burgum. I'm from Arthur, North Dakota. And so it's such a privilege to be able to share a recognition for a cybersecurity and thought leadership and innovator for a fellow North Dakotan. That is a privilege I've never had before. So I realize I'm standing between everyone in the next phases. So if I could ask Val to assist here to share our words.
Yeah,
this
sure.
evening.
We have one more name,
Oh, one more name.
and that's going to be Jim Pashbak, and Marcel is here to get it on his behalf. So, every year as I said, we try to recognize, and there is so much more to do to get that recognition of our corporate partners, our friends in the community that have actually helped us along the way. And in this particular spot, we have of course we recognized Governor Deal today because of we are in his house, right, so to speak. And what he has done is an example for a lot of us to follow. And we also want to take the opportunity to spotlight, talent where we see, and that's what Sean is. I've been leading example. You probably heard him, like 19 or 20 states have now already gone into North Dakota model or going into it. If they haven't, they will. We're 100% sure they will. And extending that to the corporate partners, Blue Water with Dave and Norm's support and leadership, they have been with us from day one. From the day we founded Cyber Future Foundation, they have been with us from that day. Every year, they come with the entire crew, and it's been just growing. So really great to see that, and we definitely recognize that. And last year we started an accidental partnership with Port San Antonio, and you can imagine the pace at which we have gone, and the leadership team, Jim Pashbak, we want to recognize the leadership and Marcel and everyone, so Stephanie, we have Will Garrett and everyone. I wish everyone was here, but a tremendous team. And when you see GCC's culture, when you see Port San Antonio's culture, and when we see what Sean's building, definitely gives us hope. All the hard work that we do in the cyber world, this is it's probably too loud to say, but still, we serve without the uniform, and many of the folks that are here just do their work quietly. But that word has to come out, and I couldn't do without recognizing the work that Claire is doing, and in fact, the pace. It is great to see a visionary leader, and great to see that they have really great goals. But the pace, execution matters in our world, especially. Execution matters. If there's a threat, we find a way to stop it. There is no other alternative, right? Otherwise, you'd be seeing people lining up on gas stations, and someday, freezing without power. So there's no option for us, and that's what the shining example is right here. We have seen her work at AICPA, now coming to ISC Square. We are absolutely sure with her leadership, it's going in the right direction. The focus on the diversity, equity, and inclusion, expanding that access and scale. She's taking a lot of risks. Personal risks. I acknowledge that many leaders do, right? We have to take those risks to make it happen. The whole changing the certification model to include more entry-level talent, I loved it. I didn't even know that was coming. I was really glad to see that. I'm sure there are a lot of things that are coming to the woodworks in the next few, but we are here with this great crowd. We want to make sure that you are recognized, and this word will get out to the entire world. We'll take this to Davos, make sure we take it around the world, and this is a shining example. So, Carl, thank you for supporting us, and I'm glad that we now know each other and met. We'll probably make another Tel Aviv trip and then kind of tap into the double innovation ecosystem and make GCC and others, center of innovation excellence. So is San Antonio. But Sean, I know I cannot hand it out to you here, but the offer is there, right? So I promise I'm gonna go and hand it over to you when we meet you in person. I don't think the light's working, but
I tried my
this is
best.
one guy who tries, okay? So you will not give up. So if Harold, come on in. Maybe we start with Dave, or our longest time partner. And let Carl present Marcel. That will be another token of support from one to the other.
Wait,
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go. Are you kidding me? I'm not gonna ship it to him. I'm gonna go and hand it over. That's what we do.
I
It's
think
fair.
she wants to get a photograph. of
Okay,
it.
so I think, so Sean, thank you so much for joining us. I know this is gonna be a little bit bloody here. It's actually gonna get more blurry after some of the things. It's not a digital problem. So maybe pictures and then we go ahead and put this in.
That clock is all for it. All right, I'm gonna take a couple, so bear with me for a minute.
Sean, how will I put Sean in a picture? Okay. Don't take me.
I'll be the big 40 man.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right.
So we're gonna fix it with Stephanie here.
All right, thank you, Sean. Well,
Thank
I'll
you.
see you in a couple of weeks. Okay.
Sounds great. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Stephanie wants to get a quick
Oh,
picture
okay.
with us. What's that here? Flash on.
Sean, we'll figure out how to get the award to you, but we actually hope we can give it to you in person.
No, no worries.
Thank you for being here tonight virtually too.
Sounds great.
And
You
your
guys
team,
have
is,
fun.
your team is tuned in.
Right. There we go. Thank you, guys.
We will get the award to you somehow. Your team has tuned in, and thank you for being here with us virtually.
No problem. Thanks for
And,
having me.
Let's go change the world for 22nd century.
Damn right.
Okay, thank you so
All right.
much.
Thank
Okay.
you.
I will take the
Bye.
bag. I will take the bag. Is he not up? He's there, right? He's gone.
All right.